Hello and good evening, everybody. Let me ask you something. Imagine you walk into a class and your teacher says this. You've got an absolutely massive test and it's on everything you've learned this term. Suddenly, everyone's stressed. You're flipping through notes, rereading pages, trying to memorize facts and definitions. You stay up late, cramming information you barely understand just to pass. And after it's over, you breathe a sigh of relief and dump all the information you learn and move on. That's me. Now imagine this instead. You're going to be making a group project and it's on everything you've learned this term. Suddenly, your group is bouncing ideas around. You're building models, designing posters and filming videos. You're actually using what you learn in a real creative way. You're thinking, explaining and problem solving. You remember the topic because you understand it. And after it's over, you still talk about it. You're proud of what you made and the knowledge sticks with you. This is But you see, it's not some amazing new idea. It's happening in some classrooms, some programs, and even in a few lucky assignments. But that's the problem. We treat it like a reward instead of a strategy. Currently, for most students, PBL is offered around twice a year. Small part of your grade, something around like 10 or 15%. And that's the problem. Because memory-based learning isn't just less fun, it's less effective. While PBL is better and it delivers real results. Here's the proof. Relying on memory-based learning might help a student pass the test, but it doesn't help them understand. Studies show that rote learning leads to shallow thinking and poor long-term retention. PBL, on the other hand, gets results. In one study, students in PBL classrooms scored 8% higher in problem solving than those in seated and timed conditions. Because in the real world, no one's asking you to recite facts. They're asking you to solve problems, think critically, and work in teams. That's what PBL is all about. And remember, I'm not just a presenter in a video, I'm a student, just like you. I've been through late night cramming and confusing tests. I've also been through the group projects that actually made learning fun. I know what works because I've lived it, and I'm sure you have too. So the question isn't, does it work? It's, why aren't we doing this more often? This is the type of learning that's connected to real life. You want students to retain knowledge? Let them use it. Instead of writing a generic essay about pollution, why not design a school-wide campaign to reduce plastic waste? Instead of calculating in a textbook, build something, test something, present something. That's the kind of challenge that sticks. And I know you guys are thinking, you keep ranting about how PBL is so perfect, but every time I do a group project, all the kids do is talk about their game station, and the smart one does all the work. In what world is that perfect, where one learns and the rest don't? I see where you're coming from, but that's exactly why PBL is even better, because the group needs to determine who has the strongest skills for the task, who might try something new, and how to share responsibilities in a way that benefits the entire team. Assorting roles is a key part of how real workplaces function. Every successful team depends on individuals taking responsibility for different tasks. And PBL gives the students a chance to practice this. Not everyone can do the same job, and learning to negotiate roles fairly is a part of the process. These are the same types of decisions professionals make every day. Do you understand, mister?
Yep, that's good.
With clear roles and expectations, students don't get carried, they get invested. I've seen students redo models not once, not twice, but 3 times. Not because the teacher told them to, but because they cared. I've watched classmates rethink their entire idea at lunch without being told. That's not getting stressed, that's getting it right. School doesn't just teach content, it shapes how students think, work, and see the world. So if we're preparing students for the future, we need to think carefully about how that future actually looks like. Project-based learning isn't just a fun activity. It builds real-world skills you'll actually use beyond the classroom, and it still covers the curriculum. But it does more than just check boxes. It makes learning mean something. It doesn't just prepare you for tests, it prepares you for life. And let's be honest, the future, our future, it's not a seated exam, not rows of desks in silence. The future is fast, unpredictable, and it's complex. And it demands thinkers, builders, and creators. So why are we still stuck here, memorizing textbooks? Why aren't we learning the way the world actually works? Because in the future, no one's handing you a worksheet. They're handing you a problem, a deadline, and a challenge. Something PBL is perfect for. So I'll leave you with this. The future isn't a test, it's a challenge to solve, a project to build, and a problem to overcome. And it starts with us, right here, right now. This is